Okay. Well, can I do that for free, or will that be my action?
It's going to require an action. Persuasion check.
We've got
Okay.
a minute until the books come back, if it follows by how it's been
That's
working.
true.
Khalil.
Yeah. I'll order the books to show themselves.
Okay. And nothing happens.
Okay.
Khalil.
Khalil will stand at the doorway.
I'm surprised Khalil... Last time Khalil stood in that doorway, something bad happened to him.
Yeah, well, he was, kind of still tore up from getting hit by the death Katamari.
Tarin.
Now he's not being ate up by the death Katamari.
The hatch opens.
Book flies out, hits you in the face.
Arik.
Flop.
And Fred's just hanging out back here.
Waiting to watch everybody get beat up by books again.
And you guys are just going to wait for the books to spring to life. That the plan? Wait for the full minute?
No, I want to do some science.
Do some science.
I want to take a few of the books and bring them out of the room.
Okay.
And I'll leave them right over here.
And when you try to walk through the door holding the books, something like physically bars them from leaving the room. Like you can't pull these books through the plane of the door.
I hand one to Orphan and see if she can do it.
Alright, I'll give it a try.
An orphan can't do it either.
Alright, well, I think we're going to be burning these books.
I don't think the staff is doing anything, Eldove.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's worth a try. What do you want? Do you want to just burn these books before they come back to life?
It doesn't seem very supporting.
One more action. One more
What have we
action.
been sporting?
Next person who takes an action is it. We have books in T-5. 4,
Alright, readying an action to
3.
burn the books when they come back to life.
And they do. They swirl to life. So,
Burning the books.
which swarm would you like to hit?
I would like to hit
This is the
one.
one. This is just one book just flapping around.
I will try to hit that one with an acid splash again.
Okay.
Oh, they came back to life?
Oh yeah. We're back in it. Eldove's turn.
Okay. Sorry, I keep cutting out.
Oh, Zelda's ready to action.
How are they deck saving?
Yeah. And fail and pass. So this one only had 1 hit point. So it's
So it's
finally
dead.
gone. At long last, the acid burns through the rest of the pages, and it splashes back into this swarm, and you see the acid splash against some of the books, but you don't see any of them fall to the ground. And that brings us to Orphan. Khalil.
Step in, and I'm gonna sword the books. Sword
Which
the books.
ones?
The ones in front of me.
The hut.
These ones? Okay, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
There's only a few books in that swarm. That one's...
Fuck reading! Not with that. Extra
You're
attack.
not gonna fuck reading with that.
Maybe if you
Let's
read
see how
more,
you
you'd
do.
be able to hit a book.
Space 12.
19.
Yeah, that does it.
Actually, no, 20 to hit.
Roll for moon damage. Toss it right off.
14. Yeah.
And yeah, that's enough to chop that through the last swarm. Even with the great difficulty of chopping through these books with your longsword, you managed to inflict enough damage and knock them to the floor. Just a rain of chopped pages and
Paper.
unbound bindings and whatnot. And that brings us to evil books.
Have you guys noticed the death pit beneath the stable?
Tarin and Khalil both need to make a dex save, please. 16.
Deck save 16. Uh, 18 on die.
18.
Both of you passed?
Yep.
Okay. This swarm of book lobs an acid splash. Oh, I'm sorry, Orphan, you need to make that save too. I didn't see you there.
I will make it as soon as I'm able to.
Okay.
Does someone want to make the roll for me?
Yeah, I'll roll.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a
Well-
reflex save. I wouldn't worry about it.
You
It's a dex
fail.
save, you said? What did I get?
What is your bonus?
Oh, you know what? No, don't worry about a dex save because it can only hit 2 creatures total anyway. It can't actually splash
Ah,
on 2.
okay.
So lobs this
Yeah,
acid
you're good.
splash over Tarin, lands on Khalil, but they both dive out of the way. No damage. Khalil, though, you then get hit by a firebolt. No, you do not. It whizzes past you but misses. This swarm here tries to burn you. So you
Eldove
lively
staggers.
step aside. Nick zips over
Does
the wall
that,
and crashes into one of the shelves.
I'm so freaking awesome.
Is
Yeah,
that my
sure.
triggered action for when a book attacks a person?
Yeah, you get your action right
And I
now.
have one as well.
You know what they say, Khalil. If you can't do, teach.
Zook, you can't see anybody from there.
So I don't get to take the action since I'm.
You do not.
Damn
In
it.
an armor class of 20 for a total of your
Ooh, sorry, they have armor
9
class
force
31.
damage.
So how much force damage?
9.
To which
and
one?
push 10 feet. The one that I can sword.
This one here? Okay.
And it's in the corner.
Ah, yeah, riposte is melee attacks only.
Yeah, you throw the whole swarm and it clatters against the bookshelf and kind of gets discombobulated for a second, but it instantly reforms in just a moment. That was a held action, so it is Tarin's actual turn now.
Called Wombo Combo.
Both attacks hit an armor class of 12.
Both attacks hit. Not bad
Okay.
for 2 3s.
Oh, but those are... I had the wrong guy there. Where's my 8s? 10. 1 hit for 11 and 1 hit for 8.
So that total is
19 total.
19.
Yep, 19 total.
That's with your packed weapon, yes?
Yep.
And you have the same difficulty slashing at these books as Khalil is across the room. Like, with the weapon against the swarm of these tiny creatures, it's just not doing as much damage as you would like. Arik.
I'm gonna go help.
I'm a help.
These are valid squares, by the way. You can stand on the bottom floor of these squares here, if you are so inclined.
I'm a helper.
I am so inclined. All right. Let's see what happens. Ah. 7 plus nope equals miss. I'm sure.
Actually, that's terrible
Nope.
AC.
13?
I hit him on a 12.
Yeah, you're looking for armor class 11.
No. Hey! Alright! I hit! That's cool! So... I finally hit something.
Who told the cleric he could hit things?
That's weird.
Who let the cleric
So
in the thing?
that's 8 plus 3 is 11 plus... It's
Now, that
1.
11 is slashing, right?
Yes.
Because
That
you
11 will be
yeah.
slashing.
and then you follow up with lightning or something?
Yeah, Divine Strike.
And how much was the divine strike?
I gotta roll it. I will tell you. Seven.
And slashing with your glaive coming through this swarm, again, you have the same difficulty of trying to deal damage to a swarm of creatures, but the follow-up, the divine strike, the light of it arcs across all of the books in the swarm, and they all stop moving and fall to the ground.
What? Yeah, woo. Thunder Priest in the house.
Greg gonna do.
Fred sidles up next to Zook and gives him a bardic inspiration die.
That is gonna be wasted on me.
Zook, your turn.
Duke has had just about enough of this shit. Oh, actually, let me ask this real quick.
Yeah.
Did these mercury potions have splash, or can I hit just one person with it?
Just one person, as far as you know.
Beautiful. Duke's gonna come up here, and he's gonna lob this this petrification grenade at this pile of books right here and try to stop them in their tracks.
Alright, roll the hit.
It would be fun if you missed a
What?
hit, Khalil. And by funny, I mean I'd kill you.
19.
No, you wouldn't, because you'd be
That'll
petrified.
hit.
The shit wears off, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, wears off in like a minute, which is.
We can all be out of here in a minute.
And
Or we could do something terrible to these books in a minute.
the
can
grenade
draw shit out.
splashes against the back wall, and all of the books that it touches have to make a save.
The books have to make a save,
Yep.
or the books in the cluster.
Yeah. The books in the swarm that get the mercury on them solidify and crash to the ground very loudly. But about half of the swarm is still there.
Well, okay. How long are they frozen for?
You saw Tarin frozen for a couple of minutes.
All right. Well, we can play with those if we need to later, I guess.
Orphan.
Let me reconnect.
Yep, best time to drop connection is right when it's your turn.
Are you just having
Yeah, I'm
connection
really
issues
sorry.
in general, or is it just tabletop?
It's just tabletop. Like, Mumble's fine. Stuff's fine.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see here. Anyway, I'm going to be spending a key point for the fire fists.
Oh, okay.
Fists of the fire, or the fangs of the fire snake, as it's called.
You're looking for 13 damage. That's the magic number here.
Okay.
The Fist of the Firefire.
So 2 attacks.
Burning Fist of the Fire Blaze.
Let's get this over with. These will both hit.
Yep.
And let me grab 2 damage dice.
Orphan is about to show us why she should be our next Fire Lord.
Fire Lord Orphan.
For 9, and that'll be 17 fire damage.
Agni Kai.
Double that because they're vulnerable to fire, and the books
Right.
just smolder and burn, and they're gone.
And Orphan just, like, dusts her hands off. There.
And that's
I
the
taught
end
her
of that
everything
chapter.
she knows.
Cool.
I see what you did there. That's the end of that chapter.
Did that burning hit include the petrified ones on the ground?
Yeah, I'm counting those as dead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if anyone wanted to science with them or if we're just fucking done with them.
Orphan was just done with him.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait,
Orphan
I
just
read the
punched-
cover.
Oh, you're a doofus.
This isn't a first edition module, clearly. You know what the covers of those books are.
So,
And how many hats they have.
Eldove wants to do kind of a floor-to-ceiling inventory of the tower.
Okay.
That's going to take at least several days.
Do we know from our look through the kitchen if we have enough foodstuffs left over to make ourselves comfortable?
Oh, I mean, even if you didn't, I mean, it's good hunting in the woods around here. It would be simple enough to go
Okay.
bag some game. Like, you're not going to starve to death in this tower.
Fair
How
enough.
far are we from civilization out here?
You traveled for a couple of weeks through the woods dealing with goblin ambushes and whatnot.
Okay.
So pretty far from any...
And we're not going towards any civilization, so this is...
Yeah, we're going to
Tir-Kyrell.
monasteries.
Tech-
Tir-Kyrell is the nearest city, right?
Yeah, I mean, you passed a couple of small farming villages and whatnot.
Okay.
Maybe a logging village here or there. Technically, you are going towards civilization because under the mountains you'll find dwarven kingdoms and whatnot, but you're not sure where they are.
Okay.
And it's not your destination in any case. So, the question is, like, how many days do you guys want to spend in the tower regrouping and searching, and are there any rooms in particular that you're very interested in? Just to
Tarin would like... No.
just to refresh everybody's memory, upstairs you had the let me get my map out so we don't
The
forget.
alchemy lab. It was the
We have an entryway here, banquet hall and a kitchen. This is all guest areas here, a sitting room and some guest quarters. You have the library, the insectorium. Upstairs you had the master bedroom. On one side you had the room with the sand. On the other side you had the bathroom. Then you had the alchemy lab. The room full of cubbies that
yeah,
lit
the
on
room
fire
full
with
of
the
sand.
exploding hawk. And you had the room full of armor, and then God knows what the top floor was. That top floor was ruined.
Tarin would like to try and spend his time investigating to figure out how to trigger all the defenses in the place, in particular the first room. The door, the bars, and the sliding door and grease.
Okay. The answer turns out to be the crawl spaces in the walls. All of the mechanisms dealing with this first room are inside of the walls. A tiny creature would have to go in there and winch this open or closed or whatever. There is a large iron band that runs underneath the floor of room 1 along the northern side that holds the floor in place. And if that band is retracted by using a winch inside of the wall, the whole thing can tip like a teeter-totter. And the same thing with the iron band that barred this front door. The winch that opens and closes it inside the walls. So what you were hearing after beating the Duchess and coming down, the goblins, to escape, had to first winch the floor back into place, put
They
the
had to fix
iron
the
band
floor.
in, and then open the door, and then wait till the coast was clear so they could all swarm out. And even then, Khalil still shot a couple of them as they were leaving.
They deserved it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to
Plus
see.
the fucking books.
That room with the sand on the second floor, that I forgot about that. That interested me a little bit.
Okay. A thorough examination of that room. Looking up underneath the table, there's a button
Mm-hmm.
that's depressed in about the center of the table.
Okay. Push the button.
And you push the button, and you're suddenly amidst a swirl of sand. All of the grains of sand down in the carpet of the room and coating the walls all swirl up and back into the box. And when it settles and the grit clears from your eyes, what you're looking at in this box is a map of the known world of Tretis, of the huge ocean in the center and the 3 trines that surround it. And it's gorgeous when you're looking at it. And you look at it, and it even looks animated. Like the sand, the blue sand that makes up the water of the ocean has waves in it. And the green sand that makes up Tetlateus and the large green island looks like the trees are swaying in the wind. And it's very impressive looking.
Detect evil.
There are no celestials, fiends, or any... That's actually detect evil in this edition. That's weird.
There's no evil sand in that box.
No evil sand in the box.
Still very suspicious of it.
would just
Anything
be
else?
going-
Anything else in that room?
Nope.
Aside from, okay.
Just that
I
box.
want to check out the fire room once the fire dies down, if it ever dies down.
It does. Eventually, I mean, there's no more oxygen, and it's just a smoldering ruin of wood and just a mess in there. Just an absolute mess. It's impossible to even tell what that room might have been at any point.
Okay.
I'd like to set up a couple unseen servants to sort out the alchemy lab downstairs. All those potions and shit, that regents that were down there.
There's not much that can be salvaged, unfortunately. It looks like the goblins literally took all of these regents and potions, whatever, and dumped them all into a cauldron at one point, and caused this caustic acid to linger in the air in there.
I'll spend the rest of my time doing some experimentation with the shield golem.
Okay. Anybody else looking for anything in particular?
Well, Zook would just be kind of going from room to room, looking for, I don't know, like any signs of a treasure chest or something that might be under some rubble. Just kind of generally picking for shiny stuff.
No, you don't find anything like that. I mean, you've got quite a bit of shiny stuff as it is. You still have that.
Yeah, that's true.
All the
I'm just
chests
looking for anything we
downstairs.
may have missed, any magical items, any particularly nice looking weapons, anything like that. But it sounds like there's probably not. Okay. And it's,
So,
I mean, not with a cursory examination. No, you're not gonna. It's not that easy. Tell me where you're
Right.
looking. What's up, Khalil?
well, he would go probably focus mostly on the room with the suits of armor.
Okay.
Because it sounds like to see if there was anything left over there once going through all that clatter.
No, none of those pieces of armor are magic.
Okay.
does anything happen when I touch one of the sections of the sand table?
Yeah, I mean, you can reach down and move the sand around, and the more you move it, the more messy it gets. And you can remove sand from the table, but when you push the button, it all just jumps back into place.
It all gets sucked back in there. Okay.
So I mean,
Alright.
you can use the implements to draw in the sand and make designs and whatnot, but it has a reset button.
Okay. All right, and you said some of these goblins were wearing changed shirts, right? But they're probably too small for me, eh?
Yeah, I mean they're small creatures.
Yeah,
very
my
small.
arm. So I
And
still got fucked up.
They're
armor.
not great. They're not in great shape of chain. I mean,
Yeah,
they were
that's what
pulled
I
off of
figured.
somebody and probably refit very hastily.
Do any of the suits of armor have a shield that's in better condition than my rusted shield?
No, none of them. They all had glaives.
Okay.
I think Zook's pretty much done with this place.
So-
Are we claiming this tower? Is this our new base of operations? Is that what's happening?
So the
We already
question
have
is,
a base of operations.
how many days are you guys going to spend in the tower?
I'm thinking 2.
2 days. Okay.
Does Cube change in any way? Like, I mean, is he other
He
than referring to the
cleans.
mustache?
He cleans a lot. He spends a lot of time dragging debris and broken things out of the tower, cleaning what he can. There's lots of bloodstains and scorch marks that he sets to work cleaning. He scrubs carpets. He spends a lot of time cleaning, but he never leaves the first floor of the tower. He never goes upstairs.
Do we ever see any sign of any other bodies or skeletons other than goblins? Like,
No.
indicating the former cleaners, or no? Nothing like that?
This place
How much
might be
time
abandoned.
does Zook spend in the crawl space?
Well, I imagine Zook would have had to have been the guy finding the mechanism, so I
Yeah.
imagine he was spending a lot of time in there, actually.
In there, you find a lot of evidence of goblins that died inside the crawl spaces and were not properly dragged out, but they all looked goblin to you. Now, the library doesn't have any magical books, but it has an enormous selection. There's very little organization in the library, even before it got disrupted by goblins, but for anybody looking for specific kinds of knowledge or information, there is a 20% chance per hour of searching that you can find a book on a particular subject. And if you find a book, there's a further 20% chance that the book contains something rare, some kind of choice or in-depth knowledge on the subject. But I will also randomly determine what language the book is written in, for any of you who are interested in studying. Also, Eldove. Zook, you're the one who said you kind of went from room to room looking for...
Yeah, he
Things.
probably would have done sort of a cursory look, through all the rooms before settling on the crawl space and then the armor room.
In the wizard's quarters, there were bookshelves in the wizard's quarters, and most of them were scorched and burned. But you find 3 scroll cases that are not.
Okay, well, I bring those down and show them to the magic guys, because I don't know nothing about that.
And they are
Magic guy
not,
looks at them.
they are not magic.
Oh. I thought, okay. Just a search scroll and assume magical scroll. Okay, well,
No,
what's
scroll
written on the
cases.
scrolls?
Crack that bitch open then.
Yeah.
Can anybody in the party read Undercommon?
I have to read, I can read comprehend languages.
Fucking
1 second,
twink.
let me make sure that applies to written words.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually know what Undercommon is.
While he's looking that up, I want to make a check in the library to see if they have any books on Tieflings in there.
How long
Yeah,
do you spend
I-
researching?
Probably a full day because not much else in the tower interests me that much.
Okay, let me make a couple of rolls here, and then we'll come back to Eldove.
I cast a ritual and I can comprehend languages. It takes me a while to read shit, so if I had an entire book, it would take a long time, but scrolls I can read instantly, basically. It takes me about a minute.
You do find a very comprehensive tome of the known history of Tieflings and notable Tieflings in Trennis, but it doesn't contain any knowledge that you don't already know, that you haven't already learned from the Udocs and from Rolxies. And what was it, Eldove?
I can comprehend languages. Every page takes me a minute, so a scroll would take about a minute.
Okay. The first scroll, written in the Undercommon, it's a contract. Written on behalf of Wilgim the Bald.
Wilkin the Bald.
And the contract is for 100 each of the items discussed to be used in Wilgim the Bald's war against the Squidheads. And in return for the construction of these items, Wilgim will share the secrets to making a newly discovered non-magical substance that creates fire as though by magic, currently available only to certain kingdoms of the Underdark.
Oh, no. That sounds
Eldove
like dragon
sighs
powder.
when he reads this shit. He's just like, oh, god damn it. I told you guys nothing good comes out of the Underdark.
The second scroll, it's not a magical scroll, but it depicts a formula for the creation of a shield guardian. And it's from this scroll you learn a lot about what you can actually command the shield guardian to do. Basically, if you had found this scroll before you fought the shield guardian, you would have known to fucking destroy the amulet or kill the boss. immediately instead of attacking the Shield Guardian. Because it was regenerating hit points every round, and I thought it was so funny.
Oh, I was totally going to start attacking the boss, and then I had to go play football with the damn electric thing.
Right. So, if you have line of sight and you're within 60 feet of the Shield Guardian, you can basically issue it commands, and it will follow its commands to the best of its ability. It can only follow very rudimentary commands. It has no intelligence. It's a construct. So you can't have it do anything complicated. Fortunately, attack that thing is not complicated.
Punching things is not complicated.
Anytime it perceives a threat to the bearer of its amulet, it will try to counter that threat.
Do they still come with shield other?
Yes, and the way that works
Am I capable of telling it not to do that?
What do you mean?
Like, if I tell it not to automatically attack against anything it perceives as a threat, will it listen to me? Because I don't know that I want to trust a Shield Guardian's perception of what a threat is.
Theoretically, yes, but it wouldn't hold for long. Like if Khalil just started punching you in the shoulder, it would start punching on Khalil. And if you were like, "Hey, Shield Guardian, stop punching Khalil," it would stop. But then on its next turn, it would reassess the situation, and if Khalil is still punching you, it would resume. So
Okay.
it's pretty rudimentary. The way the
Khalil,
shield works
punch
is if
me in
you're
the shoulder. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Come on. Come on.
if you're within.
Smack.
Are we done
Sorry.
talking? Are you done?
Yeah.
Mouth closed. Go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner, and look sad.
No.
If somebody attacks you and you're within 5 feet of it, you get a +2 AC bonus because your Shield Guardian can grant you that. And
Are there any clothes big enough to fit the Shield Guardian in the tower?
no, if you're within 60 feet of it,
We're gonna need to
half
fix
of the
that.
damage that you sustain gets redirected to the Guardian.
Okay.
And you can cast a spell into it, and you give it a spell that it can then cast.
Like it'll just be able to cast it once? Does that
Yes.
last?
No, like you cast Fireball, and instead of your Fireball doing its Fireball thing, it enters the Shield Guardian. Now the Shield Guardian has a Fireball, and it innately knows how to use it and its limitations. Once it uses its Fireball, it's gone, and you have to store a new spell into it.
How many spells can be stored at once, and how
One.
long can they be stored?
1 and indefinitely.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
I
really
meant-
glad you guys
I
gave me the
heard
Shield
Nodal's
Guardian.
boner all the way from here.
oh my god.
So,
How fast does the Shield Guardian move?
How fast? I think going
Yeah, what's its
25.
movement? Oh,
Man.
That's Zook's movement.
yeah, it's gonna move. We're gonna move
Yeah,
as
but
fast as
Zook
Zook now.
has a lot of dashing options, though.
Oh yeah.
It can dash, I'm sure.
No,
Zook
30.
effectively has a speed of 50.
Oh,
like
30?
most of
Okay,
the time.
good. It does have 30. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and Captain's prerogative. I'm gonna give the the brooch of shielding to Arik.
Okay.
What? Why would you want to give that to a healer?
Now, the third scroll you find, Eldove, is a mostly complete magical schematic for a revolutionary type of magical bifocals. Lenses that would allow anyone from the lowliest peasant on down, to read the words of a magical scroll correctly without fail, regardless of training.
Oh,
These
shit.
lenses have not been produced, and the schematic is not complete. But the last line is, "I need your help to finish these, but surely you can see their worth." And it's signed Ferris Angus, Grand Wizard, Lake Fenufar Tower. You know this name, Eldove, because this is a wizard who lives in a tower. He's autonomous. He's not part of the Kingdom of Dunfoss, but he has his wizard's tower in the center of a lake along the northern border of Dunfoss. He's known to be something of a pain in the ass. Because the prince and the royal family are not very trustful of magic in the first place. This guy has been inhabiting this tower for centuries. There's rumors that he's a lich. There's rumors that he's a vampire. He has no regard at all for civilization. He holds himself up there. He does weird magical experiments all the time. It's a place the peasants know to steer clear of.
Has he ever contacted the kingdom?
As long as you've been working as Prince Humbert's right-hand man, you've never known Ferris to have any contact with them, with the royal family. There's been no need.
Okay.
Like, he's fairly autonomous. Like, he just had... There's no value in him having any kind of alliance with the realms of mortal men, essentially.
Okay. Do I have any idea, looking at this... I'm assuming if this genius fucking wizard didn't, then I have no fucking clue looking at this what it means.
I mean, you don't even have even the lowliest wizard material is beyond your ken, because it requires training and you've never had any.
Yeah.
So,
it's not a ritual, so I don't know shit about it.
This was a device that this crazy old wizard Ferris Angus designed, and he was having trouble completing it, and he wrote to whoever the wizard was in this tower to try to get it done.
Is there anything signed by the wizard of this tower? Like, do we find anything with his name on it?
My thing is trying to figure out who the fuck owns this tower.
Well, Cube does now. Now it's Cube's tower.
Well...
Which one of us owns Cube?
Whoever owns the cube owns the tower. What does the brooch
speaking
do?
of, does if we give Cube permission to go above the first floor, does he?
He seems apprehensive. Like he's not sure whether you have the authority to grant that permission or not.
The brooch gives you resistance from force damage and makes you immune to magical missiles.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to attune to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off the party loot.
Zook and Eldove, I'm going to give you both Perception 20 checks to find one last thing in this tower.
Resistant to magic missiles and...
Lucky die!
Lucky.
God damn it, another lucky die.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I failed, so good luck with your lucky die.
God damn it, one last lucky fucking die. I got one more. Oh, there, I passed.
You
Jesus,
passed.
now I'm going to take a long rest.
You've been in and out of the bedroom, the wizard's bedroom, over and over again. And as everybody's packing their things and is about to leave, you make one more path. So something seemed wrong about it every single time you went into it. Let me actually
I don't know what the
load
fuck
up.
that is. I keep getting a ding.
You just kept coming back to it over and over and over again. And what you noticed coming in is it's a circular tower, but you have a flat wall here.
Oh, shit.
And you see, the bed, like I say, has been stripped of all linens. The head of the bed is set back into that wall. Like the bed, the furniture itself is part of the wall. Like it comes out.
Zook doesn't trust his tower for shit, so he actually says, "Hey guys, come look at this." He wants some backup on this.
Eldove comes in, his shield guardian lumbering behind him.
Also, Zook is terrible at investigation. He's good at perception. He's bad at investigation.
Now,
so
this shield guardian is 9 feet tall, you realize.
Who's just smashed through the...
How high are the ceilings in this tower?
10 feet.
But the
I mean,
doors
he's
are...
fine in this tower, but...
Eldove comes in, the shield guardian lumbering behind him.
Alright, Khalil
So
will
Zook
take...
explains his deduction that there's probably something behind this area.
Alright.
Khalil will start searching the wall.
Goes to investigate the wall.
I'll help.
Everybody who's investigating... Everybody's investigating the wall specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I am, anyway.
Everybody can roll it.
Zook will roll one anyhow, just the hell of it, but he's gonna fail.
Really do investigation,
19.
but why not?
21.
18.
And you all you're able to confirm what Zook already knew. There is a room for a cavity or a space in this area of the wall here behind the bed.
There's sign of a hatch or anything?
Not in the wall.
Eldove looks near the bed. Is there any kind of like
Zook looks
magic
under
shit
the
near the
bed.
bed?
Not magic shit, but examining the bed, each of the corners of the bed has a bed knob. And very close examination of the bed knob reveals tiny, like pinhole-sized runes carved all along the base of them. And looking at it, they seem to be formed a sort of combination lock. Each knob can be rotated into one of 10 positions.
Are the runes legible?
They're barely perceptible, and they're not in a language that you understand.
Are they wizard runes? Because I do know wizard rituals.
You don't recognize them.
Okay.
Now, you do know that eccentric wizards have a tendency to invent their own runic languages for their own particular schematics and formulas and whatnot. So these might these might be runes that don't mean anything to anybody except this one wizard. And a hatch opens. No, we're fine.
Actually, Zook, can you go and see if there's any crawl spaces that would go behind here?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, since you've been poking around the crawl spaces for the last couple
Without
of days.
even looking, I can tell you that the crawl spaces have been ending at these windows. I'll ask Rick to confirm, but...
And they do indeed. Well, they do and they don't. Some windows, the crawl spaces go up and over or down and around. But this particular room, the crawl spaces do end right here.
Do you detect any magic in the room?
I do know that they did that in one of the other rooms, so...
No, there was nothing magical in this room.
How many of these runes are there?
So it's a mechanical lock if there's nothing magical in this room, right?
Each bed knob looks like it can be rotated into 1 of 10 positions.
And,
Maybe
do we recognize the runes from anywhere else in the tower?
Probably not.
I know safe cracking is not exactly my specialty, but can I try using my thieving abilities to just listen and turn?
Make me a Thieves' Tools check, 15.
If I can, just the old-fashioned way.
Has it been a day since your lucky died?
No, it is not. But I have, let's see, so...
You do double that, don't you?
5. Well, I got 5 plus 5 plus a proficiency of 4, so I end up with 14.
Don't you double proficiency on Thieves' Tools?
I do double proficiency on Thieves' Tools. So it's that plus my dex plus double my proficiency, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that passes, actually.
Okay. You're not sure you would get anywhere by listening, but playing around with the knobs, you're thinking if you're very careful with your tools, you might be able to dismantle each of the bed knobs and pick the locks.
Okay. Did I roll again, or did I just do that?
No, that was just to figure out that you could do that. What we need now is 4 more Thieves' Tools checks, each one DC 15.
Can I sleep on this?
Eldove, can you cast Enhance ability to make him more dexterous?
Oh, absolutely, I can.
Give you advantage on these rolls.
Failure on any of these checks will result in you breaking the mechanism.
Let me rest for 8 hours. Well, here's what we'll do. Why don't I rest for 8 hours so I'll have my lucky tokens back? Meanwhile, somebody else go to the library and see if they can find a key to these ruins anywhere in those books.
That seems like a good idea.
Okay. Let's do that.
Who's doing the research?
All of us, I'm assuming.
Tarin will say he's doing the research, but he's actually researching the ethereal plane.
Okay.
Tarin's a turd.
Wait, who is doing the research? Like,
everyone besides Zook, I would think, except Tarin apparently isn't.
Anybody who's doing the research into the runes, you don't find the runes in any of his magical texts or any of his books, but you do see them carved into some of the bookshelves. He seems to use these rules just as numerals. This is just his eccentric way of...
Are we able to parse out the numerals, what the numerals are? Like, do they match up?
I mean, you'll never know for sure without actually picking the brain of the man who designed it, but there's 10 total, so they scan 0 to 9.
Bastard, couldn't even get past base 10 math.
Alright, so what are you looking for, Tarin? Ethereal plane?
Any information on the ethereal plane.
How long do you spend looking?
The time that they're spending researching.
So 8 hours?
8 hour long rest.
Okay.
If we were gonna... wait, Tarin. Both I cast Enhance Ability on me and you so that we could research these runes better.
Tarin, the ethereal plane research has been done extensively by certain wizards in Trennis. Not the one from this tower. He doesn't have any books that go, like, no personal research, no logs of his own excursions into the ethereal.
But the equivalent of scientific journals, maybe?
And, well, not even that. Because you don't really get any information that is very concrete. Well, a lot of what you find just reinforces what Eldove already told you, which is people who go to the ethereal plane either don't come back or they come back as madmen. But you don't really find any cases of people who were only there for 10 seconds like you were. And you find all of this very strange, because this does not scan at all with how you know the ethereal plane to work where you come from.
Right.
But there
it's
are...
pretty much a tool.
There is... And then what you find most curious, though, is this particular wizard has kind of shunned that aspect of study of magic entirely. But there are certain schools of wizards in Trennis that do that kind of research, and they do it very carefully. Because excursions outside of Trennis, leaving the plane, almost always go badly.
I would like to make a small clarification. Oh, by the way, you go ahead.
Do I find the name or location of any of these schools and focus on other planar areas?
You do, in fact, come across a name. Give me 1 second, and I'll have that for you.
All right, while he's getting that, I'll make my slight clarification, which is that I do not research these books for 8 hours. I research them for 6 hours and 50 minutes. That last hour and 10 minutes is spent calling forth a phoenix from the flames.
Oh, God. I did tell you could do that, didn't I?
You did.
I did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what just happened?
My magical hawk died in a blaze of fire and came back as a tiny celestial phoenix.
So, is it actually still on fire now?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Tarin.
But yeah, it's a celestial animal, so I'm figuring it to take whatever form it basically wants.
What you managed to piece together is the foremost expert on excursions into the ethereal plane would be Nal Kantar, who you met in Kiska. He was the one who...
Yeah.
Okay. he would be the man to... He would be the man to see.
Oh, the crazy demonologist guy in Kiska?
He was not crazy. He was the most sane person there. All right, so
Sure.
Zook is done with his rests.
Okay, so you are going to give me enhanced abilities. Actually, can you enhancement over 20 with that?
It's not a plus. It gives you advantage.
It gives you advantage, yeah. Can it stack? Because I can cast it too.
No, you can't stack advantage.
I think that we maybe okay. So what's my my goal on these?
You need to do each of the 4 checks individually. You've got to pass a DC 15. If you fail any of the checks, the mechanism is destroyed.
All right, I don't think I'm gonna, because with 3 lucky tokens and advantage, I should be okay because my base is 15.
Okay.
I mean, my base is 13 rather.
Let's see it.
So I just need to roll better than a 2 4 times in a row.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
1.
That's 1.
2.
2.
Look at these.
We may have done a little overkill.
Yep.
3.
This is why I'm rolling like shit. It's all going right here.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna miss for the next 3 combats in a row.
Guys, Zook is at it for most of the afternoon with his thieves' tools, going at it with these bed knobs.
I am
and
in my fucking element.
he's in his zone, but you're sweating it. Like, you're working with a mechanism that's extremely minute. This is really, really intricate work. For being a non-magical device, this is the kind of stuff that, like, if a gnome had made this, it would be exquisite. But after a few hours of work, you do manage to find all 4 of these. And I actually have it written down that if you guys just wanted to try to spin the knobs, I would give you a straight 1 in 9999 chance of getting this. So Zook, you pop the last one, and as soon as you do, the headboard of the bed slides down. and you're looking into a cubby in the wall, and inside is a lectern upon which sits an ancient tome.
Detect magic?
Yeah,
It
is it
is
magical?
extremely magical.
What language is it?
It is the wizard's spellbook, actually. It is the spellbook of a level 20 wizard.
Oh shit!
Again,
Eldove, how much do you love me right now?
Again, Eldove pops a boner.
Eldove's not a wizard, but he can use some rituals in there.
Is that the only thing that's in there?
Yes, that's it.
Zook is
The
Zook
only
is
thing.
visibly
Okay.
disappointed that there's nothing in there but a goddamn magic book.
I don't think you understand. On the open market, this thing's probably worth hundreds of thousands of gold pieces.
No, on the
On
open
those
market,
words-
this will get us murdered by wizards.
On the here of open market value, Zook gets a tiny little gnome boner.
So,
On the open market, we will have an army of demi-liches coming after us.
so Eldove, as far as using the book for rituals goes, it's a straight 70% chance that any particular spell you're looking for is in the book. If you're looking for a
Zook is-
ritual, roll a 70% chance, and if we succeed, it's in the book.
Can I get Zook to check if it's in the book for me?
Zook wants to check for traps.
Nope, that's it.
No traps. Okay, good.
I'm going to open up the lower floor, because Tarin, you find one last thing in the tower before we're done here.
Okay.
Just because I assume you spent a large amount of time just walking around the tower with Detect Magic, looking around, seeing if anything jumped out at you.
Yeah. Other than the tower itself.
Yeah, that was my reasoning for spending a couple days here, was to have
Ooh, I
Tarin go
lost-
through each room.
I lost a connection.
And you do. You find a magic broom and a magic bucket in the closet.
I told you.
You did.
He did fucking
called it.
tell us.
And you have no idea how they work because Eldove has not identified them yet.
I
We're out
have
of
one
pearls, I
identify
think.
spell.
Oh, you have one left?
One left, so choose wisely.
Broom. Maybe flying, maybe flying. Come on, flying.
So you identify the broom?
Yeah.
If the
It's
command
a
word
cleaner's room.
if the command word for the broom is spoken, and the command word is swish bristle, the broom immediately springs to life, cleaning the nearest dirty patch of floor.
That is not exciting.
The hell are you
Totally
talking about? It's a broom that
kind of-
cleans the floor.
We just got a fucking Roomba. Like, that's really awesome.
Wait, but it only cleans the floor? Like
Yes.
it won't clean anything else?
No, it sweeps the floor.
Alright, I take the broom.
said?
Do I have to attune to this fucking broom?
No, you just have to speak the command word.
I'll take the bucket, even though we don't know what it is.
Those are the only two magical items in there: the broom
Yep,
and the bucket.
that's it.
Eldove spends the next 30 minutes reciting silly magic words to see if the bucket will activate.
And it does not. Unless you actually tell me the command word and guess it, I'm not going to give it to you. You have to identify it. It's
I'm
one
going to
of-
be real with you. While we're walking through the next couple adventures, I might just randomly start saying silly bucket-related words.
So that does bring us to the end of the Goblin Tower.
We're gonna be in the
Cube
middle of a fight, and he's gonna
eventually-
go,
Cube is eventually able to be persuaded that he can go anywhere he wants in the tower, that the bushy mustache gentleman is not coming back. At which point he sets to work cleaning the upper levels of the tower. He sets the suits of armors to right. He goes to the third floor and clears it of all the debris, and he starts getting the tower back in order.
And Cube can't fit into the crawl space areas, right?
No, not even close.
That's what I thought. He
Can you
relied
tell
on-
us the command word for the bucket?
He does not know. He was not one of the cleaners.
For
So,
Cube.
I don't feel comfortable just leaving the tower now. Because those goblins can easily come fucking back.
Okay, here's the thing. If they come back, it's not our problem. And if we take Cube with us, he's going to be fucking miserable.
Well, that's why I was trying to figure out if we could lock him in here, because he just seems like he'd be happy just cleaning.
I mean, we could take him with us to the Flumphs.
Yeah, sure. We'll ask Cube. Does Cube want to come with us?
Tarin,
Does Cube want to hang out in our hold and go fight someone in the arena?
Yes.
Cube is pretty adamant about remaining here in the tower.
Okay.
The last night you're in the tower, you were going to leave earlier in the day, but then Zook was like, no, I got to go sleep and get my luckies back. That night, Tarin, you have a dream. And it's similar to the other dreams that you've had, with the door with the 12 keys, except now the 9th key is in place. It's not turned, there's nothing hanging from it, but there's a 9th key in the 9th keyhole.
Uh-oh.
It's got a cube-shaped keychain.
No keychain on it.
Yeah, they're not dead yet.
I will give you an Arcana 20 check. Unless you want to spend the library to research it, in which case I'll reduce it.
Yeah, when I see that, I am definitely going to hit the library up.
How many
I'll
hours do
explain
you
that
want to
to
spend
group.
researching?
I'm willing to wait a day or two, honestly.
Okay.
This is pretty important.
If it's going to take a day or two, I'll just give it to you. Cube is a mathematical creature called a Modron. And it's from another plane of existence entirely. One of the outer planes, known to most cultures as Nirvana. A plane of perfect law and order. The entire plane is actually made up of gears and cogs that move in unison. And the race of Modrons that live there, they share one communal identity. They have no concept of the singular person. Once in a great while, one of these Modrons goes rogue and breaks away. And sometimes this happens as a case of one of these Modrons traveling from Nirvana to another plane of existence and getting stuck there. When that happens, they have no connection to the plane they come from or the other Modrons. And this seems to be the study that this wizard has done into Cube in particular. That's what he seemed to learn. What interests the wizard is that Cube came from somewhere else. Like, in Trennis, there really is no concept of coming from somewhere else. There's no travel to and from
That's
this
why
plane to
everybody
another
gets
plane.
a blank look when you start talking about onions.
So, putting that together with your dream, you're thinking, okay, there were 8 of us from other worlds who came here, and now we know of a 9th.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, Cube.
So, Cube is coming with us then.
I mean, it's
Are we?
to put a fine point on it, Gendrid doesn't know about Cube, but if he did, Cube would be able to fulfill whatever fell purpose he has.
Cube's probably safer not being near
Are we
us.
in Trennis or Eberron?
Trennis. Modrons are a planescape thing, not an Eberron thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, does Cube have little vestigial-looking wings on his back? Because all the
No,
ones
they
I'm
were-
seeing online do.
They were removed and a table was bolted down in their place.
That's so sad.
That's depressing.
Can someone
Actually,
point?
can I remove that table?
Oh, we got
Wait, can we
somebody
find
already.
the things that were removed? Can we put them back on?
No, I mean you don't find his wings anywhere.
Well, right, but can I just take a wrench and take the table off?
Yeah, you can
I
unbolt the
just
table.
posted a picture of
Yeah.
a Moldron Cube.
Yeah,
on.
that's basically what Cube looks like. That he just posted in the Twitch chat. That's
That's
basically Cube right
adorable.
there.
Just minus the little vestigial-looking wings.
So, if you guys want to take Cube with you and understand, you're not going back to the ship yet. You're going up into the mountains somewhere. With a knowing what you now know about Modrons, that they are perfectly logical creatures. The most chaotic Modron in existence is still lawful neutral. If you can make an appeal to Cube that is perfectly logical, that he cannot dispute why he should abandon the tower and travel with you, he would do so. Otherwise, he is adamant about staying in the tower and keeping it up here. Making sure all the books get back in order, making sure the transcriptions he's supposed to be tending to get back in place, making sure the guest rooms are made up for guests that come by now that the cleaners have all retired.
What if we tell him that by going to the second floor, he has acknowledged that we have taken the place of the bushy mustache gentleman, and we're able to give him the order to go upstairs, and thus if we give him the order to follow us, he should do that.
His response to that is that while he's been granted access to the second floor, that's all the more reason that he should stay behind and keep it up. Because he's the last person that can do it. He's the last denizen of the tower. It only makes sense that he now has run of the joint.
I don't think it's a good idea to convince him to come with us. I think he's better off here.
I agree. I just want a cube.
Eldove just wants a place to set his beer, that follow him around.
I mean, I've already got one metal guy, but what if I need a backup?
I got a question, Brick.
Yeah.
How if Zook checks around these windows and stuff, does he feel like there's a way he could get back out of the tower without going through the front door? Because I'm wondering if we shouldn't just lock him in the tower and let him live out his little QB life.
You know for a fact all the goblins left out the front door.
I mean, Tarin. How hard would it be for Tarin to get into that crawl space and close the door?
Impossible.
What? Impossible?
For Tarin to do it, impossible. There's not room.
I mean, you could use the cloak, but I don't really want to talk about what I saw when I used the cloak.
What does it take to lower the door?
The mechanism to bar the door is inside the crawl space. Here's another problem, though. Cube is, at least partially, an organic creature. He has to eat. He needs sustenance. So if you lock him in here, he will, over the course of decades, eventually starve to death.
Well, we'd come back for him within decades. Like, how long,
I might forget.
Yeah.
Now, with some time and some tools, you could probably work at the masonry in the entryway and, create a hole in the wall where you could operate the winch without having to go into the crawl space.
Well, how much force does it take to operate the winch?
Not much, because a goblin squeezed in there and did it.
Right.
Because I'm thinking I have a million different types of familiars, and I could just send one of them in there to operate the winch.
Yeah, you could do that, or we could just tie a frickin' rope to it and tell Cube to pull it after we leave.
That's true. We could do that.
Or we just take Cube with us.
I thought you just said that it wasn't a good idea to take him with us.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, maybe that was Nick.
I'm gonna
And to be clear, that was Orphan saying that. Orphan's trying to dissuade Eldove from doing this.
I'm gonna ask Cube. Cube, do you have an inactive state? Do you go into every I don't know, once every 24 hours or so?
This one enjoys 8.5 hours of downtime per cycle.
What happens during your downtime?
This one dreams.
I can always talk to him.
Okay.
Well, Cube can't close the door.
We'll know when Gendrick kills him then.
Well, I'm saying you can work the masonry in that room to gain access to the winch without having to go into the crawl space.
Oh, okay.
You can take a hammer and a crowbar and remove some bricks from the wall. Now that you know where it is. There just hasn't been any need to do it until now. If the goal is to lock him in the tower, you can make that happen.
Cube, how will you get food now that you're in the tower by yourself without the mustached man?
He ponders that for a moment, and he has that same confused look on his face, like he kind of doesn't understand what you've asked him. You get the sense that he hasn't had a requirement for food for very long. Like, this is still a new experience for him. Like, the concept that it could run out has not occurred to him before.
Do you respond, or is he just looking
No,
confused?
he just looks confused. Like, you've introduced to him a new idea that he's never thought of before.
Cube, when was the last time you ate?
This one imbibed... I'm trying to think now. How long... You said he was out gathering herbs for 5 days. So this one last enjoyed physical sustenance 6.8 days ago.
And when will you next need to eat?
And again, you get that confused look, like it hasn't occurred to him.
Are you hungry?
And he again doesn't look like he even understands what that means.
Okay, so he doesn't eat often, so I mean it sounds like he'd be okay for a while.
I mean, you get the sense that the wizard was feeding him, was giving him food and ordering him to eat.
No, that's not as exciting.
So, let's bring him with us, and then we can feed him.
Yeah,
Fine,
no, I kind of...
Let's just bring the cube with us, and we'll try our best to not get him killed.
What if are we able to persuade him that in order to eat, he needs to come with us?
Make a persuasion check.
Well, Tarin was gonna make a. Do we have to make a logical argument? It should be int based instead of charisma based.
That's a pretty logical argument, though. If he's realizing he needs to eat, but he doesn't,
Yeah.
like, if you can, like, you need someone to feed you, there's no one else here to do it. So yeah, make a persuasion check, Nodal.
Well, Eldove is gonna take a second and cast a spell on himself first, and then he's gonna make a persuasion check.
Friggin' Mary Sue, look at this guy.
I am so much more.
Oh man, Shield Guardians look badass.
Yeah, they
know,
do.
right?
They're pretty awesome.
Did I ride on the thing's shoulders?
Probably.
That is a 28 persuasion check, and absolutely you can ride on the shoulders.
All right, Zook is riding on that thing's shoulders from now on.
And Cube looks convinced and says this one is now afraid that it would go without physical sustenance if there were no companions to feed it.
Oh, well, shit. I guess it's the best thing for it, because it's going to just clean rooms and starve to death if we don't take it.
Yeah, let's add out of character brick. Would
Okay.
Cube figure that shit out if we left it here?
I'm not telling you. Are you
Okay.
kidding me?
Well, I mean, we're already gonna bring it with us.
Okay.
I just want to know whether it would die or not.
It depends on which way I need the story to go.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's bring the cube with us because Brick's a death trap.
All right,
We'll totally
so
bring about the end of the
we've
world.
just recruited the Chision Star, the Elegant Star, a star shared by Gadget Z, and Jupo.
Oh my god, you Suikoden nerds.